tea time. Welcome back for my tea time. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking about smoothing the hair today, which is one of my favorite topics because most clients want their hair smooth. I have very little clients in the salon that want their hair curled. Most clients want it smooth, and most clients want to know how to get it smooth. So I'm pretty excited about this topic. And surprisingly, most of the things are super easy that we just overlook because we're always in a hurry. We're always rushed to get out the door. So we tend to just go real quick. And then we go and then we wonder why it's not holding or it's not lasting or it's just still frizzy or it falls flat as soon as you walk outside. You know, they don't really think about what they're doing and they just go through the motions and then the hair doesn't ever turn out the way that they want. So I'm here to tell you, take it easy, go slow, you'll get much better results faster, and yep, that's my word of advice. So, my first tidbit of information is going to be, does size really matter? I know what you're thinking, but I'm talking about flat irons. So, we have 3 different size flat irons that I typically am going to recommend. And I have a mini flat iron, which is going to be, unfortunately, I don't have it with me in the salon today, but it's a very, very, very tiny, little tiny baby. That's why I just call it a mini. I don't even know what size the plates are, but it's super tiny. And that is going to be for my pixie styles. Anybody that has really, really short ear, where it's like cut out around the ears, it's super short, pixie style cuts, you're gonna go with a mini sized flat iron. And then I have a 1-inch flat iron and I have a 1.5 inch flat iron, which you can go up to 2 inches. So there are ones that are just a little bit wider, like double that. And so these are my 2 most go-to flat irons that I use constantly. And the 1-inch one is gonna be for hair like mine, shoulder length, and shorter. And the wider one is going to be for shoulder length and longer. That's what you're gonna wanna go for. So yeah, that's my suggestion. And I did actually have a couple clients ask me recently what hot tool brands I would recommend. So I just wanna throw that in there. Babyliss is by far my favorite brand when it comes to all hot tools. My blow dryer is a hot tool, or Babyliss. My flat irons are Babyliss. Curling iron is a Babyliss. That's my go-to brand. This particular one is a Babyliss Pro Prima 3000, and the other ones, the number changes for size purposes. So if you go with the Babyliss Pro Prima, but what I love about this particular flat iron model is that it's double-sided plates. So if you can tell, I'm being very careful. This plate gets hot, this plate gets hot, this plate gets hot, that plate gets hot. So all 4 plates. So it's perfect for the client that wants a flat iron curl or wants to occasionally flat iron it. That way you can do both, just be super careful. So that kind of leads me into my, unless you want a flat iron curl. So if the hair is longer than shoulder length and down, the 1.5 would be by far the best for you. And then the 1 inch is actually perfect as well for the shoulder length and higher. So when it comes to the flat iron curls, that's gonna be your best bet. So yes, size does matter. I recommend the 3 different ones. I recommend the double plates, and let me know if you have any more questions about flat irons and brands and all that stuff. But let's not get into that today. We're actually gonna talk about smoothing the hair. So the first thing that we want to really be diligent about to prevent breakage and to prevent frizz is a heat protect. I'm gonna go with my Perfect Defense. This is my go-to product for all heat protection. What I like about it, it's a very light, fine mist. It dissipates, it's gone. It's beautiful. And you can put it on wet and dry, which is key. So something to think about with heat protection, you need to put heat on before every heat source. Before you blow dry it, it needs a heat protect. before you flat iron it, you're gonna need additional heat protect. On day 3, you're gonna re-flat iron it, re-curl it. It needs a new layer of heat protect. So make sure it has a very lightweight feeling in the hair that will protect the hair and prevent it from frizzing and breaking, because that is gonna obviously not make your hair smooth. So long-term prevention of frizz and breakage, you have to use a heat protectant. You have to. So get a good one. The next thing would be, well, my next two are kind of hand in hand. So we have combing the hair and sectioning the hair. Again, clients just want to go super, super quick and get it done with. I get it. I'm in that place. But taking smaller, slower sections is actually going to give you much better results and much faster. And I challenge you to time yourself. Go in like a crazy woman and flat iron your hair with big sections, and just do one of these, just grab and go, and let me see what kind of results you get and how quick you get it done, versus section by section all the way up the head, and let me see what your results are. So I would love to see a side-by-side comparison of you sectioning the hair versus just going at it. Okay, so with that in mind, we are then in section. I don't want to do my whole entire head. I'm kind of liking it a little, what should I say? My niece would call it puffy. Puffy hair. That's what's in style these days. They want puffy hair. Okay, so I'm going to just start with this just so I can give you an example. So you are first going to want to spray the hair, and the key is combing it. It has to be combed in the hair. So look at how smooth it is. If I just take this section and pick it up, look at, I got this, I got that, I got all these little flyaways here. You're just flat ironing all that frizz and roughness into the hair and defeating the whole purpose of getting your hair smooth. So you want to make sure you're taking a small section, spray it, comb it smooth, and then run your flat iron over it. You'll get a much smoother result. Another thing I want to point out is when I take this big, huge section, you're not actually heating the center of the hair. The flat iron is getting this part hot, but the center isn't actually getting hot with one slow pass. So you have this whole section in through here that's not smooth. So again, defeating the whole purpose of you taking just chunks of hair and flat ironing it. So you want to make sure that you're combing and brushing the hair through. Now, another thing that we want to keep in mind is the sectioning of how wide and how, I'm going to say, it's kind of hard to say like which one is this. So mine is a 1.5 inch. So my section can't be any wider than this. So I'm not going to take this whole section. Look, that would defeat the whole purpose. So you want a 1 inch section all the way across. Got it? See? 1 inch. Then, or whatever size your tool is, right? So this is 1.5 inches, you got 1 inch, a little tiny one. Then when it comes to the width of section on how wide it is, you whatever flat iron you have, you do not want the section any wider than your plates. And so go even in just slightly. Ow, that was hot. Go slightly in a little, because if the hair gets snagged on these outer plates, it's only gonna break the hair, and we don't want breakage. So keep the section no wider than your flat iron and no wider than the plates, okay? So we're gonna take this nice, decent sized section, and let's take it a little bit smaller because I'm paranoid. We already sprayed it a couple times with Heat Protect. I combed it through, and I'm gonna go with one slow pass all the way down. And voila, my hair is straight and smooth, and it took me one pass. On low. Can you see that? I'm on low. Slow and steady wins the race, always. So, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Oh my God, I totally forgot to talk about the cooling hair. Today's just been a day, sorry. So the other most important thing about styling the hair, I'm going to take this down. When you're smoothing the hair, well, really any kind of styling, is cooling the hair. The hair must cool down completely before you touch it, before you pin it, before you brush it, before you go outside, especially on a hot, humid day. So try to do your hair first, let it cool down completely. I highly recommend 20 minutes without touching it. And after that, you're good to go. Then you can brush it and it will still last you 3-4 days. So anything longer than 20 minutes is ideal, but I know we don't have a lot of time. So usually the cooling process takes longer than the actual styling process. So if I want my hair super, super straight and smooth and I want to go out in 90-degree weather, you're going to want to sit in that AC for at least 20 minutes before you step outside to give the hair a chance to really cool down and lock in that moisture. So that actually completes my tutorial. And if you have any questions, please reach out. If you feel like you love this video, send it to a friend. And I look forward to seeing you in the salon. So have a beautiful hair day.